Welcome to Becoming a Big Fish, which is part 2 of, in the morning we did Becoming a Transformative Entrepreneur. We're always becoming something. Becoming what? We're becoming our greatness. That's what everyone here deserves. And that's amazing. One of the kind of the hidden values of this event is emerging into who we truly are. And we have amazing finalists who have been selected today to pitch because these are our budding next young entrepreneurs. But I'm actually going into talking about stuff that should be given over to Sean Diddy right now. Sean, it so happens, is a PhD student at MUM. But little do people know, she was also Miss Iowa in 1997. You see here walking around the halls, little do people know, then after a few years later, she got on QVC Network. She has sold millions and millions of dollars of product as a host on QVC, Home Shopping Network. It's an amazing to have a talent, a really world-class talent like this being the host. And probably you've seen her, maybe you've seen her on infomercials, radio commercials, television shows. A lot of products she represents. Please give a very warm welcome to our host, Sean Diddy.
So it kind of means I didn't sleep for about 20 years. We were 24/7 networks, and one thing I need to tell you about my observations of what's been happening here at MUM is looking at the energy in, one, the people that have come to work with these students, incredible. Some of the messages have been to give, and it's really important. I've also watched Cliff Rose. Where is Cliff? Oh, there's Cliff. Cliff Rose actually helped us to have some wonderful speakers, one of them Kevin Harrington this morning. David Wiseman, who is the director of the undergraduate business program, has been mentoring and speaking to people. So I want to start things off with a Cliff quote. Say that 5 times fast at 3 in the morning when you're on live TV. Cliff, in one of the press releases, this stood out to me. He said, "The Concept to Market program at MUM guides students through the development of their own creative ideas for a new product, business, or service, from the process of concept to reality." And again, Cliff is the director of the Concept to Market Institute. That program's held in 4 blocks here at MUM, and then a certificate is awarded at the end. They're in their 4th year, and they've been awarded certificates, or they've given certificates to over 50 entrepreneurs so far. So this is not in the Michael Sternfeld information, but let me tell you something. The more we give to these kids, the bigger these products get, the more they grow, the more we grow at MUM. So if you see something you like here today, the show Shark Tank, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit, is about people fundraising. And it's not just about money, it's about energy, it's about kindness. So support these people. And speaking of supporting people, since I've done this for 110 years, there is a gentleman here, also brought to us by Cliff Rose, named Joe Sugarman. And anybody watched QVC? Yeah. I started there in 2000, so 19 years ago. Joe Sugarman is one of the pioneers of not only blue blocker sunglasses. Sound familiar? Yeah. Yes, he's the blue blocker guy. He's right there. So you have Joe actually is a legend in the copywriting industry. So direct marketing, there are certain people that stand out in the industry. Joe is really a legend. He has been recognized in print advertising. He was the first person to introduce the use of toll-free numbers. Thanks, Joe. We also know him as a pioneer in the introduction of several product concepts. Now here's one for you, the pocket calculator. The digital watch and other innovative space-age type products of their time. His ads appeared in just about every in-flight magazine out there for several years under his JS&A banner, and he was, as I mentioned, a regular on QVC for over 20 years, selling over 20 million pairs of those blue blocker sunglasses. Not only is he a pioneer, an innovator, he is a good human being. So without further ado, we get to listen to him as our keynote. Please welcome Joe Sugarman.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for the welcoming applause. I'm going to share with you a couple true stories. Well, first of all, let me ask a question. There's a spiritual principle that says that whatever you focus on expands, right? So if you focus on good health, what happens? you stay healthy. If you focus on your business, what happens? It grows. If you focus on money, what happens? No. Money's a symbol of work and effort. You don't want to focus on money. Money, what you want to focus on is one thing that I've built my whole life around, and that's helping others. Helping others. And I've done that all my life, either through books, through support, through mentoring, whatever. Now, I'm going to share one story with you. One of the things I learned very early is that humor, if used right, could sell just about anything because it really attracts people. So in your and then by the way, in copywriting, my expertise in copywriting it came about as a result of reading a lot of copywriting books, of experiencing a lot in life. For example, I'm a former pilot, commercial pilot, a commercial instrument rated pilot. I'm a lecturer, I'm a speaker, I speak all over the world, I teach. But anyway, the point I want to make across is that helping others, that's the key. So I'm going to share one little story now, and again, it involves a story, and people again love stories. Okay, the story. Here goes. It's the senior year at my high school. I'm in chemistry class. It's Friday. Next to me is standing this guy mixing chemicals, which I was doing as well. But he spilled some on my side of the table. He's a jerk, an idiot, what the hell. So the next day, he spills chemicals on my clothes. And I says, you idiot, you jerk, look what you just did. You just spilled chemicals on my clothes. And he says, what, you want to fight? Now, the guy was about so tall, about 100 pounds. I figured I could make short work of this guy. So I said, yeah, let's fight. So he said, okay, where would you like to fight? I says, how about Greenfield Park? He said, okay. And I says, okay, Greenfield Park it is. How about 4 o'clock? And he says, okay, 4 o'clock, I'll meet you at Greenfield Park. So I said, okay. I will meet you there. Well, 4 o'clock comes around. I also invited all my friends. Why? Because I wanted them to witness this. I also got dressed all in white. Why? Because then his blood would contract much better. So anyway, come to 4 o'clock, I see all my friends there. I wave to them, and as I'm walking towards my opponent, he smacks me right in the face and knocks me out. I mean, it was over. I was blood all over my white outfit. I race home to my mom. She almost died when she saw me. I mean, I was really a mess. Anyway, here's the thing. 2 years later, this jerk, this idiot, married my sister. So it took 2 years, but I finally got even with him. People love stories. That's a true story, by the way, I hate to admit. I like to tell a Winston Churchill story that might be a good motivation for everybody here. And that is, in 1946, March 6th, actually it happened before then, before March 6th, sometime before. And there was this college, Westminster College, in Fulton, Missouri. And they had to decide who to have for their commencement address. Who could be a real good name they could pick. So they all sat around the table, and they decided to pick different people, but one guy picked Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill? Everybody laughed at him. He's not gonna come here, he's an old man. Little Fulton, Missouri, are you kidding? Well, guess what? They got a letter back from Winston Churchill stating that he'd be delighted to give the commencement address at the college. So he goes to the college. So anyway, on the time of the college, they decorated the streets. They put bunting out to celebrate this coming. The whole town just went crazy. It was a small town. Excuse me. So anyway, long story short, the date comes, okay? Winston Churchill arrives in Fulton, Missouri. And all the graduating students with their caps and everything are in the audience. And Winston Churchill is sitting on the side, and he's being told about how wonderful a job he has done in his life in England and everything. And then that was the mayor. Then the principal of the school also said that Winston Churchill was probably one of the most incredible names we've ever had in our school. Okay, they were all set. Now it's Winston Churchill's time to speak. So anyway, he's a very old man by now. This is 1946. It's May 5th. He's very old. He's shaking. He gets over to the podium, looks at the audience, and gave a speech that every student will remember for the rest of their lives. He said, "Never give up. Never. Never give up. Never. Never give up. Thank you." You won't forget that, will you? But isn't that perfect? And that's really one of my keys. I have had a lot of failures. A lot of my stories appear in my books, but for example, there's a these are the Batman credit cards. I was involved with Batman 53 years ago, and I produced this card for them. and anyway. Okay, I just want to thank all of you for paying so close attention and listening to my sick humor. So anyway, thank you very much. Oh, one last thing I just want to mention. The thing that really impresses me are the number of women entrepreneurs. It's really amazing to see the growth and to honor the women who have spent a lot of their I mean, it's not easy being an entrepreneur. It's typically considered a male profession, but not for the women in this group. So I really admire both you, Mar and Kathleen. Where's Kathleen? Oh, there she is. So anyway, thank you very much. And again, it's such an honor to speak to this group and to know that we've got a lot of women who are going to be great entrepreneurs and great support for the school. Thank you very much.
Joe Sugarman. Again, we're going to hear more from Joe. He's one of our judges today. David Lynch wrote a book, Catching the Big Fish, Meditation, Consciousness, and Creativity. Has anybody read it? It's also on Audible. And you'll see that our name here today is Becoming a Big Fish, a Shark Tank-like event. And this is brought to you, again, by a great group of folks. Has anyone seen the show Shark Tank? Yeah, well, wow, ABC's doing really great marketing. The show debuted in 2009. It's a Mark Burnett production. He seems to be doing pretty well for himself. And the premise of the show is that entrepreneurs come onto the show and they get the chance to bring their dreams to fruition. So they present their ideas to the sharks in the tank. Now, those are 5 titans of industry who have made their own dreams a reality. Then they've grown these big fortunes, and then they can invest in these products or these concepts. They also give great feedback. And that's what we're going to do today. We've actually brought in 5 titans of their own industries. And we have an extra shark that is going to be giving feedback as well. And I'm going to make you stand up, Cliff. Will you stand up, please? Cliff Rose. Thank you, Cliff. He worked hard to bring in Kevin Harrington this morning, and Kevin spoke to the group, but you arranged for Kevin to give feedback on each of these products. So I'm going to share that on his behalf today, but thank you for doing that. And again, the fact that you have Kevin Harrington, who's really been in this business a long time, giving honest feedback to you participants is going to be a great part of this. And if you're wondering, Shark Tank does return at 8 p.m. Central this fall on ABC. So, but you can watch all of this here. We're actually streaming. And I'm going to introduce our judges, and we'll just have them come up here, and I'm going to do a bio as well. So judges, if you'd like to join us, Joe Sugarman you've met. So I'll just name the names, and then we will learn a little more about them. Michelle, and is it Hoyer? Hussler. Chinese and German. I learned your whole background, and I know what languages you speak, and I still say your last name incorrectly. So go ahead and take your seats, judges, and we'll go through it. Dennis Roland will be helping us to keep things organized. Peter Jansen, Catherine Frazier. So as they take their seats, I want to let you know a little bit about Kevin Harrington because we'll be giving some of his feedback. He, as I mentioned, headlined our morning event. He was one of the original sharks on Shark Tank, and he's credited as the creator of the infomercial format. He bought Time years ago and started selling things. Have you heard of the As Seen on TV brand? It's everywhere. So he actually created As Seen on TV. He's developed over 500 products, yielding over $5 billion, with a B, dollars in global sales. He's committed to empowering the next generation. He really was great this morning talking to everybody. And he wrote a book, Act Now and Put a Shark in Your Tank. So he did review the products, and as I mentioned, the products and the concepts. I'll be giving that feedback with our judges. So now, feel free to applaud for each judge as you meet them. Let me introduce, we'll start here with Michelle Hussler. Did I do it right? Still messed it up. I'll keep saying it all weekend. Incredible talk this morning. She was one of our speakers. She's a social consciousness transformer. She left her job in London as a financial trader to go on a quest to develop new, more humanitarian forms of economics and money. She completed her master's degree in economics at Schumacher College in the UK. Then she took a trip to the jungles of Brazil and helped develop a currency called inquiries. And you talked about that this morning, and I know you'll be around, so if you want to learn more about this, it challenged the way and changed the way that the locals collaborate. She then created a gamified experience for students that uses social currency to teach about the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and that's called the Give and Take Lab. So please give her a round of applause, your judge. You met Joe Sugarman. Please give him another round of applause. Dennis Roland, we thought you might want to feel like what it's like to be a trade show representative, so we put you on a head mic. Dennis has had an amazing career, and again, we're very honored to have you with us with your background. He served 20 years as a senior manager with a large financial services company. Now, during that tenure, he maintained bottom-line accountability for the performance of investments under his control while providing investment, underwriting, and financial management services to international clients. To have this kind of experience with us, we are so honored. Mr. Roland also served as the Chief Operating Officer to multiple publicly traded investment companies. He's the Managing Director of a New York-based consulting company and business strategist to multiple startups. So please do give him a round of applause. Next in line, Peter Jansen is a venture capitalist with a 40-year track record of funding breakthrough technologies for the betterment of mankind. At 33, he was just on the cover of Success magazine. So one of the up-and-coming entrepreneurs in the world. His most recent venture, Anchor Free, pause for this, it is the world's largest private virtual network. So it's a VPN. With over 1 billion, there's that B again, users. And it was recently sold to Jeffrey Katzenberg, and we probably have heard his name around. He was the former CEO of Disney and DreamWorks. So now we're lucky enough you have a little time, not a lot of time, but a little time to spend with us. So please give a round of applause to Peter Jansen. Catherine Fraser spoke this morning, and I know you've been on campus. Really, you all have been talking with students, but just so, I think, inspiring and intelligent. And she built one of the most successful PR businesses in the music industry, representing artists like Justin Bieber. I see, my daughter isn't here. She's of that age where I'd have to be like, Justin Bieber, or the whole crowd goes, ah! So Justin Bieber. Lauryn Hill, another crowd goes, ah. See, Daft Punk, The Weeknd, there's a long list, and we would have you guys going, all day. But she also learned, as she was in that business, the folks are confronted with depression and anxiety and addiction, and many of the stars were experiencing that, so she became a life coach. And now she counsels clients on how to keep an even keel in the midst of fame. And we heard more about that, and I know you'll be happy to share more about what you do with us. But right now, because of her incredible business experience, she is one of our judges. So please give her a round of applause. We have 5 finalists. I'm going to announce each of them one at a time. They're going to come up. This is how it's going to work. We have a timer down center. Thank you. Keeping us organized. And she's going to be in connection with Dennis, and they're going to keep this going for a 3-minute pitch. And there's a timer down here, so you'll know. And then there will be a 7-minute interaction, so the judges will give their feedback. I'll insert Kevin's feedback when it feels appropriate. So he did write something to each of you. And we will kind of rely on we'll stay on time because it's like live TV here. We've got commercial breaks. And speaking of the commercial break, there will be a 7-minute break at the end of the 5 presentations, and then the judges will deliberate. This is like live. They're deciding today who the winners are. Do you care what they win? Do you guys care what you win? Yeah, okay. So the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, and this is pretty cool because I actually thought it was $500 for 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, each one. 2nd place will get $750. The winner gets $1,000 to put toward their project. So, and this is all given by folks here in the community. And then Maharishi University of Management is also giving a $500 scholarship to each of the participants and the 2 runners-up. So, or we actually had 2 alternates. So we'll name all of those names. You'll see them come up. So I'm going to start things off. And please, again, this is, it's a little, I've done this now for, I'm going to say 20, but maybe longer years. And when you're launching a new product, when you're giving that pitch, I don't care how long you've done it, it's always just a little bit scary. So the way to support these people is send out positive energy, good vibes, and put your hands together as each of them comes up and when they're sitting down. So right now, let's start things off with a round of applause. Jeremy Erdman. Jeremy, I'm going to turn it over to you. Jeremy is an MUM student, and the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. So good afternoon. My name is Jeremy Erdman, and I want to alter the way we work and play because today this is us. The neck down generation, something that totally scares me. And so, hold on, I'm freaking out. So it turns out that Mom was really right, that good posture is extremely important because prolonged bad posture can lead to significant health issues like some of these. And some of my least favorites are like fatigue, constipation, low self-esteem. The most daunting is that the thoracic outlet syndrome. And so I've dealt with most of these, actually. And so, the next point. And so I have a solution to some of these. And and there's one that's not up there, and that's visual difficulties, like an astigmatism. There was a study done in the 30s and 40s by a Dr. Harmon. He studied 160,000 students in the classroom environment, and he found a very strong correlation between poor posture in the classroom and poor vision, or vision issues. And so I have a solution for some of this posture-related issues, some of these posture-related issues. And so there it was in the 1500s when I first invented it. And so the modern version is a portable, lightweight slant board, a multi-angled work surface. in two versions. The first version is a simple, hold on. The first version is a simple version for students, like I'm imagining K through 12 students, college and university students all over the world using this, as well as anyone that wants to work on a slanted surface wherever they go. And then a smart electronic version that combines a battery, a docking station, and a stand all in one. And then a premium version that builds on that and combines a solid-state hard drive, wireless charging, and a built-in solar panel. And so all the versions of Alter are lightweight, portable. It's something you would take with you in a bag to a coffee shop or set it up at home, anywhere. And so with Alter, we can work and play longer and smarter. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Does anybody want to start? And you have a question?
It seems like I might have some of these issues. As I was sitting in my seat, I was going, ooh, maybe I can. And why do I wearing glasses now? So it's just very interesting. I'm fascinated by it, and I'd like to learn more.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm familiar with what's called Veridesk. The Veridesk is the desktop version that's for standing workstation. Mm-hmm. So yours is portable.
Yes.
But it's a similar concept, is that?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was interesting that you're targeting the schools. Schools are typically underfunded. Is this going to replace 19th century workstations in schools, or is it an accessory?
It's an accessory.
Okay, so it's like an attachment that goes on top of the desk.
Yeah, it could sit on top of the desk and it would fold up.
Okay.
I'm thinking two versions, or two sizes for that.
Yeah.
How much is it?
So for version 1, I'm thinking between, I mean, if it could be made cheaply enough, $25 to $50.
Did you look into how much it costs to make in quantity?
So I'm going off of what some of what Cliff has made, and if he can make what he's making it for, this should be able to be made for like $1 to $2, honestly.
What is it made out of?
I really want it to be made out of aluminum, but I realized that, so that would be the high-tech version. So the low-tech version should be made out of something sustainable, but something like plastic or a fiber, like a cutting board almost, something sturdy like that.
When you start your marketing of this, is your demographic the first one students?
Yes.
Because my opinion is you might want to aim for people who are older and already feeling broken down by the years of this. They're still young and fresh. They aren't feeling it like we
yeah.
are. And us older people have more money. And we have more money to spend on our children who we don't want them to get the hunchback thing.
Right.
So if I were you, I would rethink my demographic when I come out of the gate.
The first one, yeah. Thank you.
I would also target the nomad community.
Say that again?
The nomads community, it's massive now, all around the world. People working from home, traveling, and I think that this could be amazing if that's portable, light, and something you can carry around. So,
Yeah.
and they have money, so I had the same concern about schools.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
otherwise,
I did
great.
too, yeah.
Would you like to hear from Kevin?
Yeah.
And then I'll pass it over to Joe. Kevin said first he loves the category, and he says, trust me, I know all too well about the neck-down generation and how important maintaining a healthy posture is. I think you have a great idea. He says that he knows there are some current stands on the market, but he's yet to hear of one with all the extra functions you mentioned. Now here's his quote. Coming from a shark's point of view, I need some meat on the bones here. Is there a prototype or pattern pending?
No.
So his advice would be to first get it developed and then get a prototype in place, and then, because an investor wants proof. He says
Yeah.
it's a great idea. I'll keep this for you, and I'll pass things back to the judges.
Thank you. Thanks, Kevin.
I have one more question, Jeremy. The solar aspect, does that seem practical for the product? I mean, it's not clear to me what that would contribute.
So it's going to have a built-in battery, and so I was thinking that if the solar panel could be integrated, you could charge it anywhere. And so the Nomad would fit perfectly with that.
Yeah, it feels to me like something like a wireless backup or data storage option. in the stand may have maybe greater value to the end user than the solar option, but you might want to do some research on that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Very good. Excellent concept and an excellent job.
Thank you.
You did a good job.
Thank you, thank you.
Jeremy Erdman. Our next product is being brought to you by another MUM student. And here he is. A round of applause, please, for Ben Suka.
My name is Ben Sokup. I'm a student here at MUM, and I'm developing BioBuds, your ear's best buds. Earbuds suck. I'm certainly not satisfied with mine. Are any of you satisfied with yours? Raise your hands. I'm seeing like 3 people. That's good. I'm in the exact same boat. They're not comfortable, they don't feel good, and they all pretty much sound the exact same. We want to bring innovation into the earbud market. I'd love to tell you how, but first I'd like to ask you another question. What's the #1 problem with earbuds today? I heard somebody say it, they don't stay in. I agree with you. The problem's gotten so bad that people are going to such great lengths like this. I don't have any piercings, unfortunately. I really wish I did, because the same problem affects me. I don't think you should have to get piercings to get your friggin' earbuds to stay in anymore. So how do we fix this problem? We're going to be making custom fit ear sleeves, the things that go, the little rubber bits that go on the end of your earbuds. They're going to be made out of polypropylene, which is a recyclable plastic that molds straight into your ear. It's actually the same type of plastic that's used in shoe orthotics. You just put it in and it'll like pretty much just expand, exactly like an earplug. We're also going to be making sleep pads that'll be magnetic, so as you're falling asleep, you can just slap them on and it feels like you're on a pillow. That might sound a little strange. I sleep with earbuds in, and every morning I freaking hate it because it's super uncomfortable. I can't be the only freak who sleeps with earbuds in. It's nice to sleep with audiobooks. What we offer, we're going to be offering 3 separate products, starting with our stock version of BioBuds. These are going to be a wired version that only include the sleep pads, just an affordable option for people who want earbuds they can sleep with. Sorry. Ignore that. My second product, BioBuds Plus, will be completely wireless. Bluetooth 4.2, which is the benchmark for most Bluetooth products right now. An included charge case that will give you around an extra 10 hours of battery life for a total battery life of around 17 hours. These will have the custom-fitted sleeves and sleep pads. Our final product, and my favorite, are BioBuds Smart. Once again, completely wireless. These will be upgraded to Bluetooth 5, which is going to be the staple for all smartphones moving forward. It just means that you're going to allow separate devices, so if you have 2 friends who have BioBuds, you can connect to the same phone. There's also going to be waterproofing capabilities. You can stay to a depth of 30 meters for up to 30 minutes. And these ones will allow sound in. There'll be a little vent on the side of the earphone, so while you're running or jogging, you'll be able to hear traffic. These will also include a heartbeat sensor, like the ones found in smartwatches, like the Apple smartwatch or the Fitbit. It'll track your heart rate while you're moving around or while you're sleeping, and actually compile all your sleep data into a calendar and give you tips on how to improve it. Customizability is coming to the earbud market. It will be here shortly, and BioBuds just wants to do it first. So thank you. Questions?
I have a question.
I'd love to hear it.
That was great. I find this super compelling, and I would be like, sign me up, except for I don't know what the other earbud market looks like. So are you the first person doing this? What's the reality of the landscape of the earbud world
So there
competitors?
are over 3,000 earbud manufacturers, which is a big number. But to me, that's actually a good thing. It means that earbuds are on the rise, and there's something that's been proven. There aren't any earbuds that are doing anything remotely like BioBuds want to. There are some custom-fitted earbuds out there. You do a mold, send it into a company, and they'll send one back. They're not wireless, and they're pretty much for studio, like people in a studio. The ones I could
What
find.
percentage of the market is that? That are doing the custom fit earbuds?
Oh, extremely small. I was only able to find one other company.
Yeah.
And they start at $500 and go all the way up to $1,500. So pretty inaccessible for most people.
How much are yours then, your smart version?
The highest end version will be $195, so just around 30 higher than the AirPods.
I think your headline or your sub-headline is excellent.
Thank you.
I think you're onto something. So keep up the good work.
I'll do my best, thank you.
Is the, I don't think about the sleep market in earbuds. Is there a demand for, are there companies catering to the sleep market with the earbuds?
Not at all. Well, that's a lie, actually. I was able to find one company called Bedphones.
Yes.
They make an earbud that's basically just a memory foam pad that slips over your ear while you sleep. It's not meant to be used for everyday use, only for while you're sleeping. But I like to look at the earplug market when I think about earbuds, because earbuds are pretty much just better earplugs.
I think that is really unique, and that potentially is a real differentiator for you. I mean, we saw what happened with the MyPillow. Took something that really catered to the sleep market and been very successful. I think that could be a real differentiator for you. So, no other questions. Nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good.
Ben, I'll pass you your Shark Tank Kevin feedback. One of the things he said is he'd like to see a competitive analysis. Is there a prototype? This prototype thing comes up a lot. He wants to know about testing, and he says, again, great category, but a fiercely competitive market, and as an investor, he'd need to see the unique position. So there's his comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's your clicker.
Our next presenter is Masulu Bolaj, a Compro student.
Yep.
Welcome, take the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Masulu Bolaj, a Compro student here. I'm here to introduce my product. It's just eye attendance. Very familiar. In our workplaces, we take attendance every day, but we're using a traditional system to do it every day. But I'm here to present a different approach of doing it. My own system is going to use artificial intelligence, and it's going to use GPS as well. That's the only thing you need to clock in at your workplace. Not necessarily only at your place of work. In an organization, you can actually use the same thing to actually mark your register. I believe the organizer of this event would like to know how many people are actually inside this hall. But the traditional way of doing it is to have a paper outside there. People will be taking their name, or probably they will be there, like writing their name down. And it's not really convenient for anybody to do. My own system is going to use existing resources. You don't need to buy a biometric device. You don't need to buy card scanner. I believe as we're in this hall today, we have more mobile phones than the number of people that are actually inside this office, inside this hall. Why do we need to buy more resources when we have more than enough? So that's what I'm going to use. So it's really, really affordable, and it's much more reliable, much more than any other system that we have right now. Existing solutions that we have in market is either you use your ID card, fingerprinting, gate pass, or register book, just as I've mentioned. But the solution I'm proposing is such that when you walk into your doorstep, probably that's your clocking point, you go in there, you pick your phone, then you take a selfie. As you're taking the selfie, it's going to mark your attendance for you, and you can only clock in for yourself. I believe you cannot use another person's face to clock in, just like we normally see when people, Mr. A, will collect Mr. B's ID card and use it to clock in. So that's not going to happen with this one because there's no fake face. Now, who are the likely consumer of this product? A company can use it for attendance. They can use it for executive meetings. School can use it for roll call. I was in a class, my first class here. I could look, I see my professor what she was going through. She picked up the list of 89 students, and she was calling us one by one. She has to move to our desk and making sure that Mr. John that is answering the name is actually the same person. It's not good enough. We can do it in another way. So that means I can actually pick my phone and clock in because I cannot use another person's face to clock in. So how can we set up this system? An organization can just come onto the portal because the solution is we have the mobile phone application that is available both on iOS and Android. That when you want to use it, you just go to the doorstep, the setup check-in point by the organization. You go there, you take your selfie, then the system is going to clock you in. If you are not at the right place, probably if this is the clocking point and somebody is outside there trying to clock in, the system is going to tell you that you are X, Y, Z meters away from the right clocking point. You have to move to the place. During the setup, the admin is going to select where you want to do your clocking. It's going to configure the place. And one advantage this has, it doesn't cost you any extra money other than you going to the portal to go and set up another branch or another location.
Okay, start working to your close.
Pardon?
Start working to your close. We have some questions for you.
Fine.
Okay. Sorry. So, and company can use this, school can use this, small business can use it as well. If you have just one person managing your shop for you or probably one outlet, when the person is resuming the money, is going to take a selfie. And immediately that is done, you get a notification. And for enterprise environment where they have existing systems to manage that, you could have a webbook such that their third-party applications will receive a notification that something has happened so that other applications as well will integrate very well with this one.
Okay.
My experience, I have over 10 years experience as a software development. I've worked on a lot of products, and I believe I have a skill to build this myself. But I don't have strength to market. I'm not a good marketer, so probably I will need your assistance on that.
I think you're right on the front edge of a really rapidly growing technology.
Yep.
This is an interesting application. I can think of many other applications that are very similar to what you're describing. If you've given any thought to school and organizational safety in terms of what facial recognition would bring to security?
I think that question is similar to what just happened to Microsoft. This one, the pictures I'll be taking is going to be used mainly for just authentication, and the database or the images will not be shared with any third party, just like what happened with Microsoft and the US government and China just last week. So, and I believe, as we're all here now, most of our mobile phones that we have, they have a facial recognition to unlock them. And we use fingerprint as well. So,
Do you have something built already, or is this an idea?
it's not an idea. I have about 65% completed on this product.
65%.
Yes. I have a sample application.
And so
that-
how long would it take, and how much money do you need to complete it?
Because I'm a student right now, it's going to take probably about 2-3 months for me to complete it if I got enough support. But part of the support I will need is to do marketing, which that is going to cost me a lot.
To do what? Sorry, marketing? Is that what you said?
Pardon? Yeah, marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah, because I need to let people outside there know that something like this exists. And it's not only for developed country, it's going to be used in both developed and developing countries.
I'll help you with marketing.
Pardon?
I'll help you with marketing. It's a good idea. A couple questions. I've actually mentored a couple companies that did facial recognition and GPS stuff, and there were 2 people that worked with the CIA. So my first question is, what's your competition like, and how are you different, do you think?
Something that I need to correct us on something, or probably need to mention something. The use of GPS, it's not something new. A lot of applications are actually using it. Google Maps is using it. Facial recognition, as we have on our phones are actually using it. But the combination of these two is very, very rare. nobody is actually really doing this one as I'm trying to propose it. This is for attendance. Not only for attendance, for program like this. I believe this program that we're having here now, if I tell the organizer of this program that they're going to pay $1 for this, and I'm going to help them manage this, the list of people that actually come for this program, they have their name, then the time they actually come in, probably for their own analysis, so they don't need to have a paper. Probably at the end of the day, they have a report where they can actually go through. If it's just $1, for example, and I have about, probably in US as we speak now, we have close to 500,000 of these similar events that is actually going on. If I can have 100,000 events sign up for my application, and I'm charging just $1, that's $100,000 a day.
But are people going to want to sign up for basically them to be, that seems like something your employer would be paying for. If my employer said, oh, you have to go buy this app so I can find out if you showed up to work, I'd be like, why, you know?
It's going to be a kind of enterprise application.
Okay.
One word of caution I would ask you to monitor is there's congressional hearings going on right now. In fact, I just listened last week to a group of panelists, experts in the industry, and they're advising Congress to shut down facial recognition technology for violation of civil liberties. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen, or whether it be that they just limit potentially law enforcement, but be aware of that because that could come down the road, at least in the United States. Probably not an issue in other countries.
Yeah, two answers I have for that, and thank you very much for that. First, we don't need to wait for government before we move on. Two, the issue the Congress are actually discussing about is the issue of privacy. People are actually walking down the street and something is actually taking their picture. Two, the Microsoft one that is actually probably that leads to this issue is the site is called My Celebrities. It's kind of, and what they said is that they're going to be using the picture of celebrities to actually do facial recognition to actually help students. It's for academic purpose, second thing. But they later on observed that US government is using it and China government are actually using it as well for surveillance, which is an issue of privacy and some other stuff as well. So this one is going to be that you intentionally take your picture yourself. I'm not taking your picture without your consent.
Yeah, there's a big,
It's going to be useful in many other countries other than US.
I think it's a great idea, but I want to know who owns the data behind it. It's you, or how is it run? So I would download an app,
Yes.
let's say, and then I would have to be somewhere that it registers there, let's say when I'm going into the office.
Yeah, the process is this. You just need to download the application. You register. So during your registration, you take your picture yourself, and it's going to ask you to take your picture like 2 or 3 times, which is enough for facial authentication and recognition.
Okay.
Now, your employer is going to add you. What you need to share with your employer is probably your ID or your email address that you use to register on the platform.
And then when I go to work,
When you go to work, for example now, I have a sample one here, if I may move close to you. So this is like a sample employer for a particular company. Then I pick the one I want to clock in with. Then I want to say clock in, takes my picture like this, and that's all.
So the GPS knows exactly where you are.
Yeah, everywhere you're at.
and
there's
does
a
the
GPS
employer
mark.
get the information?
Yeah, who gets the information? You or the employer? Like, who owns the whereabouts of this?
It's a multi-tenancy kind of application that different employers can sign in to it. But they have access to their information as well. But I'm not going to give them image to download. But as part of it as well, it has an audit section where they can actually go to, okay, we want to see the history of how people actually clock in this month, or probably for a particular day. You see the faces that people actually use, and that's the only thing you can see in there.
Oh, sorry, I have one more question.
Yeah.
I think it's super compelling, and I am aware of the other markets because I've mentored them. You seem very bright. How do you monetize this? How much does it cost? How are you making money?
I'm going to make money by when the organizations actually sign up. There's going to be a lot of solutions to sell in here. For example, the last one here is going to be a good source of money for me, Webbook, because this one is an enterprise solution where people have a third-party solutions already. that, okay, if you need this add-ons or stuff, it's going to be like the way the normal enterprise licensing normally works, that the more features you actually sign up for, the more money you're going to pay for it. So somebody that just, probably a small corporation will not need webbook. The notification is enough for them to know, okay, the person that's actually taking care of my shop is there. And I got a notification, okay, it has resumed. And when it closes in the evening, I'm going to get a notification as well that it's done. So
I don't
the
know if
money
I
for
totally,
takes,
I don't know if I totally got all that, but have you run the numbers on this? Like, do you know the numbers potential?
And guys, I have to jump in to keep it fair for each of the competitors. So our time is up, but
Okay. I would like to just, a final comment is, not, first of all, nice job. Okay. I wonder, are you familiar with three-factor authentication?
yes.
Or PKI infrastructure?
Yeah, I'm familiar with some.
I'd like to talk to you afterwards. That I think kind of parallels with some of the things that you're doing. Okay? Good job.
Very interesting.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you can go trade mics over there. And what we will do, we will give the Kevin Harrington feedback, but there's time after the break. We're going to bring each person up when they get their final award. So we'll add that so that they can spend more live time with the judges that are here. So without further ado, we have a high school student in our midst from Maharishi School. Here she is. Let's start that big round of applause. Sophia Malik.
My name is Sophia Malik. I am 16 years old, and I am a rising senior at Maharishi School. My family and I moved from New York City. Oh, wait, I forgot to mention, this is my first pitch, so please bear with me. One time I made a pitch in softball, but it wasn't really a straight shot, so yes. Anyways, back to the story. My family and I, we moved from New York City so I could have an opportunity for my education to positively benefit me. In New York, I was stuck in a constant cycle of comparison, and it became very unhealthy and toxic for a young adult like me. I never really understood why I couldn't learn as easy as everyone else, and why I had friends that could learn one way, and when I tried to do the exact same thing, it didn't have the same outcome for me. But then it started to make sense. In the United States, our education system asks for students to learn the same exact way. But we're all individual people, we're all original. None of us are alike. So that's not really possible. My software, wait, I'm so sorry. It became clear to me that there was a knowledge imbalance. It was clear I, like many other students, needed access to mentors who could help me and understand my situation. So then it hit me, my concept of query. The answer of the knowledge imbalance, a shared market for education. What if there is an easy marketplace for shared knowledge? A place where learners can connect with mentors and everyone gets a benefit. Both parties win. It is super simple to use. The best of all, for both mentors and learners, it is free. Each mentor will be ranked just like Amazon. So all you have to do is go onto the website or app, type in your query, and then your results will start to pop up. And there will be more filters to find more specific results. But the way, okay, anyone can be a mentor. And I know what you're thinking. How are we going to filter out the people that are not qualified to give us the information that we need to know? There are going to be ratings, just like Amazon, Yelp, anything you use. You'll see the stars, and you will make the decision if you want to use that or not. What makes us different? With education apps, there's usually one person that's teaching. It's usually in a lecture style, and the learner is benefited. With this, the participant, the mentor, and the learner is both positively benefited because the mentor will receive college accreditation or mentor points, which will have benefits as college accreditation, and yeah. Yes, I really wanted to design something that would be different than any other education app I saw, and I believe that this is a software that will help our future generations with education and will solve the education epidemic that we're struggling with in the United States. And Query will level the playing field for all learners. What star ratings are to Amazon, Query Mentor and learning ratings are to education. And what Khan Academy is to education, Query Query is to interactive, personalized, and real-time learning. This is not just a product that will help you scrub your sink. This is the answer to success within our future generation. So thank you.
Excellent job.
Thank you so
Very
much.
nicely done.
I love the idea.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering, how are you planning to get people on it?
It's a good question. I am planning to market, obviously, which is going to cost money. I'm going to be using social media and trying to spread the word through young people in the best way that I can, using social media about what I'm trying to accomplish here.
And the mentors will be older or?
Mentors can be anyone. So you can even be 15, 16, however, what age you are to be a mentor. So anyone can be a mentor. It's just, it depends on your ratings for someone to want to choose you. So over time, as you continue to use the app, you will get more ratings and people, yeah.
So it's like shared knowledge. So
Yes,
if you're
it's
good
like
in maths.
Amazon, but for education. If that
Okay,
makes
so we
sense.
could swap like English and maths,
Yes.
let's say. And
Yes, it's to benefit everyone. So you don't have to be a genius in calculus to be a mentor. Any area of expertise you have, you can still contribute.
and have you spoken to others about it?
I was told to kind of keep this just a little bit low profile, but I will be talking to my peers about how, well, just being a high school student in this day and age, I've seen some sad things, and I hear from a lot of kids that it's very hard for all of us to learn the same way, but that's what we're expected to do, because we spend the entire school year preparing for our standardized tests just for a score. So, yes, I do believe that my peers will appreciate this software.
Yeah.
Can you, let me ask you, can you copyright or trademark your?
I'm in the process of copywriting my name, and yes, so I'm in the process. Yes.
What about a trademark? Trademarks are probably more valuable.
Yes, of course I would need your advice and expertise on that, but yes, that is my plan.
This is a great concept,
Thank you.
and you did an exceptional job in outlining the value proposition for the participants, the learners, the mentors, and even the value proposition for the business. And you nailed that.
Thank you so much.
I think the trick is the marketing and the other things that you need to do to shore up your intellectual property rights and protections. And I'd be happy to work with you afterwards if you'd like, and kind of laying out a plan.
I would really
if you
appreciate that.
don't have anybody that you're working with now. So.
Yes.
Is there a social media aspect to this so that it gets shared and that's how you spread the
Yes,
word?
I think that's a really good question. You have me kind of stuck on that one.
Or how about, you don't have to answer it right now, but you should probably think about that.
Yes.
Because like there's all these things that I see.
I feel like I'm going to make it fun to use for teenagers because I know that education doesn't really appeal to all of us. So it will definitely appeal to younger audiences.
Is it, two questions and fast. Is it moderated? Because I realize there's the star system, but how do you avoid creeps and
We are
people just kind of
going to
making a profile, being a creep,
Yes.
and then deleting, and then be creeping out someone, like that's kind of a real thing in
That
these.
is one of the challenges with this, is that it's open to everyone, which means that there's more room for error. I was even thinking of bringing this on an international scale, which is my plan. So I would have to really narrow that down and work on
Maybe
that.
at first there's moderation. How do you
Yes.
monetize? How are you making money off this?
That is a great question. I wasn't really focused on the money aspect. I was focused on helping students and people in my situation. So for me, the money isn't the important part. It's the fact that our education system changes. So that may take a while for the education system to change. So I just wanted to add an app that would just at least help our students out. But yeah, I don't really know how I guess I'd make money off of how many downloads I'd get, or if people are on the software, however that works. Yes.
It's a great idea. You did a great job. Does this exist already?
No, all you see right here is just
The concept of an
just the
app
concept
that
of
you
the
can do
website.
a mentor. Is that a thing that
Pardon?
already exists? mentor apps? I don't know. Do they already exist, or is this?
No, to my knowledge, this is the only app that's like this because other educational apps only benefit one participant. So I think that this is more interactive than any type of Quizlet or Khan Academy platform. So
That's a great idea.
Yes, to my knowledge, this is one of a kind.
I want you to mentor my 16-year-old, 15-year-old
And I'd
to
love
be
you
an
to
entrepreneur.
mentor me.
This is impressive.
I think it would be great to have it linked to other platforms or something.
Okay.
Because I don't know how you could do that, but to have another app for some people is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if you made this interactive for people your age, I think it's great because it seems like everyone's on their phones at the moment.
Yes, everyone.
So
Yes.
is there a way to make that like exciting, you know, like what I mean, like, or is it possible to link it to Instagram or something?
I was thinking something along those lines, just because I know social media occupies a lot of our time, especially young kids, and my focus is to get people to use this. So I'm going to try to make it as appealing and as fun as possible. Thank you.
Awesome.
Musu, I'll give your Kevin information toward the end. So some of the folks will get their Kevin feedback, but we have just a minute for Kevin, if you don't mind. He said it's a great concept, and I think right along the lines of what you were saying, he asked about monetization. He said, as a mentor trying to raise capital, what is the monetization value? How does he, as an investor, make money? Is it a pay per question? I understand the rising in rankings and accumulating points, but for someone like me who travels constantly and has very little free time, what's the draw for mentors to being on your site? What do the points actually do, et cetera? So I know those are all just thoughts for you, and he has a little bit more for you. And again, we'll make sure every person, if we don't give the Kevin feedback right now, we will give it at the end. But there was his feedback, and I think I've probably gotten to the end of your time.
Excellent, nice job.
Thank you.
Our final presenter, and then we are going to take about a 7-minute break where the judges will deliberate, and then we're going to give the awards, and any Kevin Harrington feedback that wasn't given, we'll make sure that you get. This is another MUM student, Corinne Brooks.
My name is Corinne Brooks. I'm the founder, CEO, and director of Sustainable Roots Therapeutic Ranch. We're a nonprofit located here in Fairfield, Iowa. About 2.5 years ago, my 3 children and I, all under the age of 5, ended up homeless. After a separation from my ex due to substance abuse and a move across country to be closer to family, the housing situation that we had set up fell through, and we didn't know what to do. I was very grateful that a distant relative offered us a 2-season camper to stay in. It took the rest of the money I had in my pocket to fuel the camper. It was the dead of winter and it was still cold. We stacked hay bales around the side to keep it warm, but we got through it. It was okay. With that shelter, I was able to get a job immediately, and I was able to enroll myself into school immediately. I put my children back in school because at that time I was homeschooling. We were military, moved around a lot. After I was able to stabilize, I had a consistent income. I was working full-time at nights, going to school full-time during the day, and taking care of my kids somewhere in between there and barely sleeping. It was rough, but it was good. About a month later, I was still scraping by. Another family member offered to loan me money, enough for a first month's rent, deposit, and to buy a vehicle, because on top of all the other things, my vehicle was being repoed because I couldn't make the expensive payments anymore. I took him up on the offer, and we were able to get into a studio apartment, something that was perfect for us, moldy, no furniture. My dad purchased a bed for us to sleep on. It was, it worked. And we made do. Over the time, I was able to work my way up. I no longer work those night hours. I graduate in December. I'm very excited about that. And my children have been doing really good. They're in a safe, stable environment, and they have been for a while. My nonprofit would like to provide safe and stable transitioning housing for anyone coming from a crisis situation, whether it be from divorce, domestic violence, or homelessness. We would allow them to stay up to 6 months in this transitional housing, receiving counseling and services, mentoring, life coaching. Maybe they need to just stabilize emotionally and mentally. After the 6 months of being in the transitional homes, we can offer them the opportunity to build their own tiny homes. These are permanent buildings, permanent structures that they can take wherever they want. They can stay on the ranch if they decide, and they can never be homeless again if that's, what they choose. While they're there, they can receive equine therapy. This is my daughter and her friend. They love playing with horses. It's very therapeutic. They can also receive horticultural therapy. I've been doing this for the last 2 years, growing food with my children. It has helped me tremendously with all the crap that I've been through. And expressive therapy. Expressive therapy is any of the arts that you can think of. There's a lot of people who do art because it is therapeutic for them. So Sustainable Roots Therapeutic Ranch wants to create a place here in Fairfield, Iowa, because there is no place within a 2-hour radius. There's no place. And so we have individuals coming from crisis situations everywhere. I work with them on a regular basis. The reason why it's not here doesn't make sense. So we're hoping to bring it to the community. Thank you.
That's awesome.
I think sometimes when we when we look at businesses, which Joe was speaking about earlier, we have a tendency to look at them from a monetary perspective. This is a case where, impacting lives is as important, if not more important. So, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I guess a follow-up question I'd ask you is, and obviously I think, in my mind, the challenge is how do you capitalize it? How do you monetize not only this branch, but potentially other branches? Because certainly there is not only a need in the United States, locally here, but worldwide.
Yes.
This is a big issue.
So
how do you monetize it?
the program obviously costs money to get up and going. With all these programs, all these programs are funded individually through state and government grants. So if you have an equine ranch, you can get funding for equine therapy or expressive therapy or horticultural therapy. There's also obviously donors who can contribute, philanthropists. But after we get the programs up and running, we can charge the outside community members who are in need of the services. So we have people who have ADHD or ODD, hyperactive defiant disorder, or operational defiance, ADHD. I'm messing that up. Anyway, there are individuals out there who are in need of the services and can afford to pay for these services. But then obviously there's other individuals who are in crisis situations and can't. So the idea is that we're going to have a nonprofit where we can be sustainable and viable. The individuals in need of the services can receive them for free. The people interested in the services and can afford to pay for them would. And we would be sustainable in that aspect. We wouldn't rely on outside resources or income. We could potentially franchise this too and place it wherever we need to place it.
Okay.
Do you have the land here already?
I have 1 acre with access to more as we grow. So yes.
And you have the prototype of the houses? Or-
I'm sorry, what?
And for the houses, you have the designs? Or?
I do have designs, yep. My father and I are working on sustainable, he's a contractor. We are working on sustainable designs for the permanent transitional housing. And then the tiny home aspect, each individual that would like to do that would have their own input on what they would like.
And they would have to fund it themselves then?
We would pay for the upfront cost. They would stay on the property with the tiny home until they pay us back. Then they have the option to take the tiny home with them.
Okay. And so if you're in a crisis situation, let's say, you can come there and you don't need to pay, or you do, or how?
Nope. You do not need to pay immediately. It's a exchange. It's a type of exchange. You put your time and effort into the community. We're going to be growing our own food to be self-sufficient. You can help the other individual build their tiny house. You can maybe teach something and mentor someone else if you can. Not everyone can. Some people need to stabilize on medication first. Some people need to receive services themselves before they can help others. Help yourself before you can help others. But the idea is that when they first come, they're not going to have to pay anything. They can just come as they are, come as they need, receive the services that they need, get a job, then start paying and help continue the program.
Yeah, because I think it's a great idea. It's just financial viability in the long term for me is a question. And it would be awesome if you did a prototype here that then could be replicated.
Yep. As far as viability, the idea is that the equine therapy, horticultural and therapy, and expressive therapy will be our main income as a nonprofit. That will pay all the expenses, plus all the expenses it is to have another individual or a family not paying their way. We are not going to have a lot of electricity costs. You know, we're going to be sustainable. So we're going to have solar power, wind power, and so there will be costs, but not a lot. And as a prototype is our goal. We would like to create a prototype so that we can take it anywhere and implement it anywhere.
I'm glad you guys talked. I literally was like choking back tears during your whole thing. I'm like super moved by you.
Thanks.
It's really impressive what you've done for you and your children, and you're taking something that was really big for you, and what you're doing is great. And I'm wondering if you have the costs all mapped out, property taxes, how much does each unit cost, so that you have like the real numbers. And a part of me, and I don't know if these already exist, but we're living in a huge crowdsourcing world.
Yeah.
And when I see how much money gets raised weekly by people sending me GoFundMes for us human beings that care, and for people once a month, if they give like, you know, if you have the means, $100, we could be, it's almost like back in the 80s when they had those triangle, what are they called, pyramid schemes, like at people's houses. Like, what if we all like pyramid schemed our way into like building people houses like this, you know, where, so to me it's like, my brain goes to GoFundMe-ish vibe, and marketing to people who have some money and getting everyone to be like, you can help people, because the government, who knows, you know, with our current administration, good luck. But anyway.
Oh, we do have the financial aspects mapped out, so we know what it's going to cost. We get to lease this 1 acre of land for only $1 a year, and so it's.
Does this exist? Is anyone else doing this program?
So there's separate programs, like an equine therapy program or a horticultural program up in Chicago. Or
no, but I mean the whole program of giving someone a house and that whole thing.
Not everything that we're doing.
I would definitely do press for you for free on this, because it's like, it's worth doing.
Thank you.
Sure.
I would just say that I'm interested to help you, and I'm here in Fairfield, so we can talk after this is over, but it looks very, very beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I too. I mean, I think of all of the businesses, this is one that I really like to see happen. And if I can help you in building out the financial model that maybe could be the blueprint that you take, that has both community, you know, state, federal funding initiatives married up with some donor funds, I think that may be the key to get this thing going. So.
I think you have some board members here lining up.
And that's time for this one. Thank you, Corinne.
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome Cliff Rose to the stage, please. We mentioned David Weissman worked hard on this. Vicki Harriet, you worked very hard on this. Would you like to join us up here to give the awards? We're going to, first off, I want to say that there were 2 alternates in the case that someone couldn't appear here. One is Shrista Sharma. Is she here, Shrista? Shrishi? This is why I need you. Is she here? Stand up. Are you here? Oh, there she is. Give her a round of applause. You will receive you are a 10th grader. Meaning you'll be a senior when school starts in the fall? Junior when the school starts in the fall. Please give her a round of applause. So, there's this university that you just won a $500 scholarship to, Maharishi University is giving you a $500 scholarship. Anthony Hernandez, is Anthony here? Sustainable living, I believe, is his major, and he will also receive a $500 scholarship. So we're going to go backwards. So we're going to do 5th place now. The 5th place winners will come up, they'll accept their award, they'll get a little bit of feedback from the judges, just real quick, and then they will stand, and we're going to make a big half circle here. So by the end, the winners will be here in the middle, and we'll have a great photo. So our 5th place winner, with altar, please give a round of applause to Jeremy Erdman. So I feel like we need this photo moment. Jeremy will receive $500 towards his product. With the feedback. And a scholarship. Yes. So everyone who you will see come up on the stage, the 5 participants plus the 2 alternates, will receive a $500 scholarship. You can applaud for that. Good. All right, our 4th place winner. You know, this happens on TV sometimes. They mess up the cards. I'm just kidding. Okay, our Musuli, did I say it right? I said it wrong again. Musuli Bolash. We need to learn this name because this guy will be famous. Congratulations. 4th place, $500 and the $500 scholarship. And I think some sharks want to talk to you after, it sounded like. And here's your feedback. And we have more feedback from Kevin Harrington as well for you. Now, we didn't give judges feedback on Jeremy. Do you want to take a second to give a little feedback on these 2?
So could we wrap it up at the
Sure.
end? We'll have
Perfect.
maybe some observations.
Excellent. Okay, then. This is for the $750 cash prize and then the $500 scholarship. Ben Soka, BioBuds. Okay, we're going to do this old contest style. We would like Sophia and Corinne to both come up here. So again, everyone, a fantastic competition. The judges, I know it was hard to deliberate. Kevin Harrington had feedback. And one of the reasons I do need to mention why we didn't have staff like Cliff or anybody judge is this really was a non-partial, big leagues pitching competition. So the 2nd place winner will receive $750 and a $500 scholarship. That is Sophia Malik with Query. And so the winner is Green Brooks. Congratulations. And they've got a little something back there. So now we can start with feedback. And Corinne wins $1,000. Corinne wins $1,000, $500 scholarship. And judges, would you like to give a little bit of feedback here?
Yeah, just generally, I would like to share, we reviewed a lot of applications, many more than are here on stage. And the difference in our 20-point rating system was 2 points amongst the whole group. So quite a testament to a lot of good ideas. The point spread that we had with the finalist was 1.5 points from all of them. So it really came down to the presentation and just a sense from, the judges on, obviously one you like maybe better than another. So it's a very difficult choice. All of these businesses will succeed. So that's the only thing that I
And you'll be available afterwards.
Excuse me?
And the judges will be available afterwards, so y'all can make some, go ahead, yes.
One thing that I would want to stress is it was actually not easy, and they're all completely great ideas. You are all going to succeed, and I'm not saying that in sort of a like, cheer up, it's going to be great. But for example, those who didn't win, like a bunch of us want to talk to a bunch of you. Like we were already like, oh, I could see that. Well, what about this? We should help that. Like, they're all going to happen. I'm just saying that because maybe right now you might not be feeling that, but I'm super impressed, very impressed.
I mean, I just have to say that was really hard for us. Like, we really stood there deliberating. I'm just echoing what they're saying, but the ideas are great. I was really blown away. Actually, Catherine and I decided last night to watch a bit of Shark Tank just to prepare. And we were thinking, my God, it's terrible compared to what you guys are coming here with today. So, you know, we were really looking forward to this.
And that's true. I did not see one Shark Tank idea that we watched last night that comes close to any of you guys.
Yeah.
So that's...
So if there's anything we can support with, like, we're here, so.
I would just say it was so tight, it was very difficult to make a decision, and so I just kind of went with the consensus of the group. And, but I agreed, and I think that all you guys are going to have great success in the future, and we're here to help any way we can, and we know we're going to see you later, so we're going to have some more conversation. So thank you.
I'll tell you, that was really hard. As they were expressing the fact that it was very difficult to choose the winners. All of them had something very positive about them. And this is my first time I've ever judged anything like this. But I was very impressed. I was very impressed. And congratulations on the winners.
So I know Cliff asked Michael to give a couple of words because you've worked so hard on this, and I could talk all day long, but you've seen it from the beginning. So in closing, real quick.
Oh, here's Anthony, just came in.
A $500 scholarship.
A $500 scholarship as being one of our alternates. Great job, Anthony. Come on up.
Good photo.
I wanted to say that I'm just thrilled at all the work that has gone into this, and Michael Sternfeld has just been brilliant in bringing all of these pieces together, and I wanted to thank you very much for making this happen.
At the very first ChangeMaker event, many aspects of Corinne's idea was being formulated by your interactions with Ra Fry. I know it was in your mind going, but it really got congealed. So this is kind of a ChangeMaker birth that happened on the first event that's like the natural, beautiful conclusion that you won today. So I'm really happy for you. That's another thing, like Dominique Ragland ended up getting an internship with Father Mejia in Colombia from that first ChangeMaker event. Ken Kachajian decided to become a student at that first change-making event, so you never know what cool things are happening out of these change-making events, and hopefully there's some things that are being born right here today, obviously these businesses, and some great ideas in all of your heads.
That's right,
So,
and our newfound relationship with Kevin Harrington and his team.
Right,
It's very
right.
exciting
Yeah.
for the Concept to Market Institute going forward.
Thanks for and all the judges coming together, and also having Mar and Catherine come in from all over the place. So anyway, thank you all, and thank you all for coming.